guys ready to get going for today? Welcome to Psych433. So this should be experimental psychology, biology. So if you guys are looking for that class, you found it. Welcome. I'm really excited to spend the quarter with you guys, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun and learn some cool stuff. Thank you. And we will begin this journey into lots of different stuff we're going to figure out during this quarter. So we're going to learn some elements of cognitive neuroscience. We're going to learn some elements of electrophysiology, research design, writing manuscripts, analyzing data, all that stuff that's going to hopefully been designed to summarize your college experience as a psychology major here at CSUSB. So I'm really excited to start this journey with you guys, and hopefully you guys are too. And if you're not, hopefully at least you're excited to graduate. And so we're going to do our best to help you towards that and learn some really cool stuff. So, my name is Dr. Addante. I'm a psychology professor here, and I run the Eeg Lab. And so the way that we kind of designed this class for this quarter is based on a lot of the Eeg research work that we do in that lab and here on campus. So we're going to be kind of offering a very different, fundamentally different kind of style of class than you might see in other 433 classes, where you might use animal research models to understand some elements of how people do research in psychology. So that's one of the benefits here, is you get to learn how to work on humans and do human kind of data, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. Sound good? All right. So some of you guys have had a chance to get to know a little bit in other classes, so it's nice to see you guys again. Welcome. Some of you guys haven't had a chance to get to know so well yet, but I really look forward to that in this upcoming quarter. We're going to spend a lot of time together, so that should be exciting. Okay, so kind of what I had planned for today is to do a smorgasbord of coverage of all sorts of stuff administratively from the syllabus to conceptually to about cognitive psychology and experimental design to very practically and technically about some elements of EEG data collection. What is EEG? How are we going to analyze it? And then we're going to do a lot of really basic sort of course prep work of sort of learning to navigate on our computers and learning to navigate some of the files that we're going to need and some of the software that we're going to use. Because the way that cognitive neuroscience is done in the modern era is it's basically based upon computers. So you can't really do that unless you know some fluency with how to work with some of our computer software, some of our hardware, and this class is designed to be a really innovative approach to teaching you guys some very practical skill sets with some computer tools that are now used sort of at the cutting edge of neuroscience and psychology research, so that you can go out and get a job in the field as a research assistant or go to graduate school or medical school and use some of these tool sets to basically have a hireable skill. So we'll definitely be doing some book learning and some studying and some paper reading, but that should be kind of the exciting part now, moving into these next couple stages of college and certainly thereafter, is that we actually get to do stuff, some practical stuff. So we have some lab components, and that's kind of what we'll be talking about too today. So I'll kind of orient you guys to all that kind of stuff, and we'll kind of do a lot of that. Does that sound pretty good as a starting point? Okay, so we're going to cover a lot of different stuff. I'll introduce myself briefly. Obviously, I mentioned I'm Dr. Addante. This is my second year here at CSUSB. I'm really excited to be working together with you guys in this class. I came here as a professor from University of Texas at Dallas, and I was very excited to return back here to California. I did my PhD work in neuroscience at University of California at Davis, so it's nice to be back here in the Golden State. I did my undergraduate work in psychology at the College of New Jersey, which is a small little school in the state of New Jersey, right outside of Trenton. I was the first person in my family to go to and graduate college. I was very excited about that. I'm very excited to see that our population here at CSUSB also gets to share in that pretty exciting experience. So it's an honor to be a part of that for any of you guys who are also on that road. And yeah, I studied learning and memory. We do some patient work, which means we have to be patient, but these are clinical patients who have brain damage and different types of amnesia, because we study learning and memory in the type of work that we do. And we also record electrophysiology, which we'll talk a lot about for the next quarter. So you guys will also get access to that. get to work on some of these clinical patient data sets as well, and maybe look at what changes in our biology or physiology related to memory after you might have some sort of damage to certain brain areas like the hippocampus. So we get to share with that as we move through the quarter. So it's a little bit about me. Let's see here. Any questions so far? Okay, so yes, Alex.
Will we have to download any software at our home to practice this stuff, or?
Really good question. You're not going to have to download any software at home. So we'll kind of cruise through this part of the syllabus in a little bit more detail, but I've tried my best to design the class so that you don't have to do that. You will have to download a lot of files, ideally onto your desktops here. And so I'll dive into this in a little bit more depth in just a minute, but I've worked really hard since this class last year, for the last year up until now, to work together with CSUSB, the IT department, the various dean's offices to make sure that we have some really good software installed on your computers here so that you don't have to do that. And so one of the things you'll see is that I designed this class to try to be as user-friendly to you guys as possible. So what do I mean by that? I'm trying to save you guys a lot of money. Okay? Hope you guys like that part, right? Okay, so we're going to do a lot of reading, but we're not going to have a required book that you need to buy. Okay? We're going to need a lot of work in software and hardware, but it's not a necessary required part that you have to buy. The school has been very generous in already investing in that for you on your desktop. Now, for some of you guys who might find this really interesting or might do some similar kind of research, and you want to be able to work at home, then you might want to use a student license of some of the software on your own personal laptop. It's encouraged, certainly, to work with that, but it's not a necessity. So I'm doing my best to work with you guys, and we'll dive into that in just a little bit. So, just broadly in view with that overview, before we dive into the syllabus in more details, I'll make you guys a couple of promises for the next quarter. Okay? So, a couple promises. Things are definitely not going to work. I know that might not sound totally exciting, but that's actually kind of how science works, right? So how many of you guys are looking to graduate this year? And girls? All you, right? Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to help you get there. Okay? So when you're graduating, how many of you guys are looking to go to either medical school, law school, graduate school, or a job in any capacity? All right, it's good to see all the hands up. Awesome, awesome, right? Always good to be employed, right? So, one of the things that hopefully and almost assuredly is going to happen at whatever those steps are, if you go to a new job or whatever, is things are probably not going to work. That's how science works, that's how research works, that's certainly how jobs work. So, one of the things that I've designed this class on purpose with is to have situations come up where things break. Things are going to go wrong. You're going to have error messages on your computer. Sometimes, and I had to go to make sure that we actually reinforced the outside windows of this building, because there's going to be times when you want to pick up that computer and throw it right out the window. Okay, because it's not going to work. But that's okay. That's kind of what the process is of. And we're going to use this class as an opportunity to practice first, developing skills and patience, and not panicking when those things go wrong. But second, and less importantly, because those are really important parts, but second, figure out the strategies and skills to be able to troubleshoot those challenges as they arise so that we can come up with some creative solutions. Because we're going to be working at the forefront of original science, original data, which means there hasn't been someone to blaze a trail yet and to set that path for you and how to analyze to find this particular result that you're looking for. Which means we've got to do it ourselves, which means just like in the olden days, you've got to take your machete out and cut that path through the jungle. Okay? So, sometimes that's not fun. I just want to give you guys a little bit of head warning, but that's what we want to build. That's what I want to use this class as an opportunity. So, sometimes things won't work, and that's on purpose. So know that, and know that it's a good thing. It's a feature, not a bug. We're definitely going to learn new things. It's another promise I'll make you. Which means sometimes learning new things can be frustrating sometimes. That's what we want to be challenged on and taken out of our comfort zone. So I'm going to try to do that, take us out of our comfort zone and learn some new things, learn how to come up with some solutions for times when things don't work. And I promise you're probably going to get frustrated at sometimes, because when we learn some of these new things, work with these new systems and computers, sometimes computers kind of goof up a little bit, right? So this is a great opportunity to learn how real science is done in real laboratories, because it happens every day across the nation and the world, with computers going down, with laboratory projects not working, and all the scientists everywhere have to be skilled and adept at 1, not panicking, 2, staying patient, and 3, just slow but sure, work your way through it and we'll find a solution. And it tends to work. So maybe that's a good time and note to introduce some of the course teaching assistants who are very adept at working through some of those creative solutions and managing that patience while not panicking, and figuring out some really cool new stuff about science and data and research on the brain, learning, memory, psychology, all that good stuff. So we have 2 TAs for the course. We have Lindsay Sirianni and Alana Muller over there. So they're very nice, they're very wonderful, and they're very skilled at being able to help us with whatever we need if you come up with some roadblocks in the class. So make friends with them, they're here to help. They'll probably have some review sessions out of class, and they're going to be guiding some of the lab sessions as well. So sort of one big team of, there's 21, 2, 3 of us. And hopefully we'll all work together as a good team and have a good time doing it. Because it's okay to have frustration at times, even when you're still having a good time. So that's kind of my plan. Teach you guys how to do some really cool programming, work with computers, learn how to understand what's happening in the brain by using those computers as really strong leverage tools. How does that sound? Reasonable? Okay, awesome. So one of the things I rely upon you guys on for the next quarter too is along that journey together, I need really good teamwork from you guys too, not just amongst yourselves, but also with me. So try to have really good communication. Let me know if something's not working. If you're frustrated, please let me know. If you're like, oh, this thing won't work, I keep getting these error messages, or oh, why can't this happen? Shoot your hand up, call out, send me a text or bat signal or something, and we'll come over and we'll help with you. But I need to know if something's not working, and we're here to help you guys. Okay, so feel free to ask questions. I'm here to help. I want to get to know you guys and help you guys succeed. Sound pretty good? All right. So let's see here. How many of you guys want to just knock out the administrative side of the syllabus first? Or how many of you guys want to dive into maybe taking a look at some snapshots of some sample data that we can work with? You guys want to do a little bit of the fun stuff first and then come back to the boring stuff? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to get some data, all right? It means that we're going to have to do one thing it sounds simple, but it's actually a challenge. But we're going to work together and we're going to have a couple of series of instructions, and it's important to just follow the instructions, and I'll work with you together, and we're going to download some data, and we're going to learn a bunch of new stuff piece by piece, and hopefully it'll be simple. So the first thing I got to have you guys do is log in to your computer if you haven't done so. You have a screen that'll pop up, it'll look kind of like this. Let's see. We are, where are we? Are we back here, you think? Yeah, kind of. We're kind of like here, right? Yeah. All right, has anybody not had a chance to log in yet? Okay. Is it booting up? Yeah. It'll take a little bit of time. That's that patience I promised you about, right? Okay. So we have like 5 hours they booked us for, huh? That's kind of crazy. Okay, so maybe they knew that we'd take a little time to boot up our computers. But that's one of the things. Part of this class will just be like waiting for some processing to happen. And that's just hang out. And as we get really good, we'll start building some scripts and learn how to write some code that'll allow us to by-step some of the manual processing that we would have been doing otherwise, which is a really good time that you can go out for lunch, grab a margarita usually if you're in the lab, or build your scripts so that it frees up your time to do other projects and hang out and do other things. So So we'll get to that in a little bit. So, as your computers start to boot up, first thing I'll ask you to do is go to Blackboard. And when you go to Blackboard, you'll see our class. You want to go to the content. So, I guess if this is our home page for the class, right? You want to go to this button here for content. All right. So I'll kind of pepper in some notes as we're going along here. So sometimes I get really excited about this stuff because I really like it. I think this stuff is exciting because I'm a huge dork. And I spent about 15 years of my life doing this kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to share it with you and bring you on board. I realize that sometimes not everyone is as big of a nerd as I am. But I get really excited. Sometimes I'll talk fast. If I need to slow down, just slow me down. Just say, hey, slow your roll for a bit. Let me catch up. And that's totally fine. So I rely on you guys to kind of do that. Okay? So I'll talk and expect that you guys are able to keep up. But if I need to slow down, just holler. Okay, so let's hit the content key. There. And it'll bring up a bunch of stuff. Okay? So we'll go into the syllabus in a minute or two. Let's just hold off here. Okay? If you want to follow along, these are kind of today's class notes, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Sort of working down here. The first thing we can do is let's grab this file here, Eeg Lab Toolbox. Okay? And what we're going to do unless I grab it, okay, is, let's see here, what happens. Well, you just click it, then what you'll see is down here, it'll start downloading a nifty little folder. And we'll get to what that is in a bit. But we need to build a little bit of a scaffold so that we all have the same files so that our systems work. Okie doke? So that'll be downloading down there, hopefully pretty quick. Are you able to log in? Have you been able to catch up to where we're at?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you have it downloaded? Does anybody not have that folder downloaded? Okay, so what we're downloading is something called Eeg Lab. Okay? So one of the things I like to do with this class is it's very integrative, right? So I have a tough job and you have a tough job, which is that my tough job is to try to teach a bunch of different stuff all in one class. Electrophysiology, technical stuff, cognitive psychology, writing, reading, all this stuff. And get your tough job, right, is to do all that stuff, right? So I try to integrate it in all of that. So we have Eeg Lab as a toolbox that we'll use to analyze data in a computer system. And of course it refers to EEG. So how many of you guys remember, anybody know what EEG is from your previous classes? I'm sorry, that was really good. What was it? Electroencephalogram, exactly. Right? So you have Eeg Lab, right? It's electro. And you don't need to write this down if you don't necessarily want to. Electroencephalogram. Electric, encephalo is Greek for brain, and gram means measure, right? And of course we know what electro is, so we have electrical brain measurements. EEG. We're going to work with that a little bit later today and throughout the semester. We'll put some electrodes on people's heads and record all their cool brain waves and stuff. Okay? So, our toolbox to analyze that is called Eeg Lab. It's a laboratory for exploring that measurement. So, let's come back to our content tab. Alright, so come back here, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll a little bit further down. So let's just take a little look and see what else we got. Why don't we grab the folder that says some data. Okay, so we grab some data. All right. Now, we got two things here. It looks like we have something called data files and sample IRPSA. Sound good? Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll just basically click on each of them and they should each start to download. Now, I should say as that's happening, how many of you guys know what a zip file is? Anybody not know what a zip file is? That's okay. We're not going to judge. we're going to learn. Zip file is just a file that is basically a folder with a bunch of files within that folder that were zipped up. So instead of me having to, you ever send an email and you attach a bunch of files? Have you ever sent an email where you attach a folder? No, it's tough, right? It's kind of weird. In order to send an email with a folder, you zip that folder into one file. And then you just send that file, and we then unzip it upon downloading, and it opens up all those other files. So it's an easy way for me to send you guys a little packet of a ton of stuff. And that's all this is. So click on that, and they should both download.
I think the data file is an exit. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's not a link.
Oh, it's not a link, huh? Okay. Well, that's quite all right. That's good to know. Thanks for. We will just download the ERP set, the sample ERP set. That works out pretty good. I wonder what this will happen there. Alrighty. Well, that makes things easy enough. All right, we'll fix that up. Put that on my list. All right. So that shouldn't take too long. Now let's do a little work in the background. Okay. So has everybody got done downloading that Eeg Lab zip folder? All right. So follow along with me. This will be pretty easy. If you can tell, this is not going to be like any other class you've taken before. Okay, so it'll be kind of fun. Something different. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to our downloads folder. So you can click, probably can't see it if you're all the way in the back, but on the bottom of your screen there should be a little folder. Snag it, and it opens up this. And you want to probably grab that downloads folder. Just like that. Okay, perfect. So, as you grab your downloads folder, we have this folder here. Notice there's a zipper here. That's your zip file. Okay? And it says compressed and zipped. So what we're going to do is, it was kind of raining on the way to work today, so we zipped up our raincoats and came into work, but now we're inside and it's not raining and we're getting a little warm and toasty. We need to unzip it, take it off, right? Okay, so let's right click on that. When you right click, it's going to ask you kind of what you want to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to this button here that says extract all. Sound good? And it's going to ask you where do you, so this is the unzipping process. And so we're extracting all those files that are zipped up, and we're going to need to put them somewhere. And it's going to ask us, where the heck on God's green earth do you want to put this stuff? So, here's where let's put it. Okay, let's hit browse. Okay, so if anybody didn't see, we go to browse all the way over here. Okay, and really what we want to do, I almost drew up here, I don't want to do that. What we want to do, we want to put it anywhere, here, or here, anywhere on your desktop. So it's really easy for any of you guys who aren't here. We're just going to navigate. So this is our folder. It's asking us to select a destination. So all you got to do is hit this button there, and I think it'll go to that navigated spot. We're going to go to desktop. Okay, and when you touch this icon, it'll direct us to this folder here that says desktop. And you're going to be really happy to snag that button there that says select folder. Now, did I blow through that way too fast? You guys feel pretty easy? All right, hit it. Oh, and then it'll say extract, so then hit the next button, extract. And you can see that it's thinking, which is good. Thinking is good. Alright. Okay, so let's see here. we now have that folder on our desktop, right? And if we look, we can see that we have all that stuff in there. So you see how we have this folder here? It's Eeg Lab. And there's some numbers because it's version 13, some mode. Because it's a free software that is it's the cutting edge free software for analyzing brain activity for EEG. It's really cool. It's developed by some people at UC San Diego. It's really, really awesome stuff. And you'll see how powerful it is as we go through the course. Okay? So, one thing that I think is pretty helpful is let's just build ourselves a little system here. Okay? So let's make a folder here, and let's create a folder, and what do you guys want to call it? Maybe Psych433 2017, 18 or something? So is it still 18?
18.
All day? Okay. All right. Okay, so you can go, basically you right click on the desktop, go to create new folder, and you're going to name it. And this is important, I want us all to have the same name, because later we're going to refer to these directories, and we should all be on the same page together. So let's call it Psych433, and then you guys know how to do the underscore key. Let's go 2018. Does that sound good? So we'll do that. New folder, Psych433 underscore 2018. Bam. Okay, so we got that there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this. And let's just nest that within there. How does that sound? Pretty good? Okay. So I'm going to snag that and drag it and put it in there. Pretty easy, right? Have I gone too fast? Okay. Sometimes I get excited about this stuff and I'll get a little carried away. So, alright. This is all setting things up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that folder we had, our downloads. And let's grab that other file that we downloaded. This one called Grand AVG, so average, grand average, N of 30, which is a sample size of 30. You guys remember that from your stats class? Okay? And then it's just last one .erp. Now, how many of you guys, anybody remember what ERP stands for? Or what it is? No? Yeah?
Event-related potentials.
All right, great. So it stands for event-related potentials. Okay? Event-related potentials. ERP. All right, so that's what this is, .erp. And we'll get into the details of exactly what that is. All sorts of fun lectures later. But that's kind of where that's coming from, because it's a snapshot of our EEG from the breakthroughs. So I'm going to grab this file, and I'm just going to put that in our Psych433 folder. You guys see how I did that? So if everyone can do that, that'll be helpful to stay on the same page. And then you can get out of your downloads folder for now. And if you want, you can open up this folder, but it doesn't matter. Pretty easy so far, right? You guys ready for the next part? You need to have a break or anything? Okay. Everybody feels like you're at this spot? Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we just set up the files and the software that we're going to use. Okay? And usually you would get Eeg Lab downloaded for free from the internet, from the Eeg Lab wiki page. But I did that for you. And normally you would download ERP Lab, which is a separate toolbox within it, from another website. But I did that for you already too. So what we've now done is built our basis for the analysis software as well as our sample data. Okie doke? That's going to be used in our software, which is called Matlab. Anybody heard of Matlab before? All right. It's an abbreviate. It's kind of short for matrix laboratory. Anybody guys know what matrices are? Matrix math? All right, well, we're not going to have to do a whole lot of matrix math in this class, but that's where the name comes from. Okay? So why don't you guys double click on that and open that sucker up.
Search it, it's on the list. Yeah. If we don't have it,
Oh, did you find it on search?
yeah, you just have to.
Okay, so why don't you guys take a look at what I do here. So you see, oh goodness, all the way down here, there's this little search guy.
There's no T, it's just Matlab.
Hit that and then type in Matlab, M-A-T-L-A-B. So here, and so if you type that in, you'll see this come up in your little icon. And then just I don't know, use your mouse to like hit it and click it. Like a cat pawing at like a little ball or whatever they paw at, right? So just touch it with the mouse and it'll open. Is anybody having trouble with that? Is it able to open? So this is pretty exciting for me because we used to make you buy this, and it's usually somewhere between $500 to about $1,000 for software, and students get a very special break for 99 bucks, which we would do instead of a textbook, which is about textbook cost. So it's pretty reasonable to have students do for a class. But we got the school to very generously provide this for all of you guys on your computers. So because this is a new course in development, right? We're always learning and adding new stuff to this kind of innovation. I want to make sure that as we install this software for you guys, that it works. Because maybe it won't, but we got to know that. So we're going to be testing stuff out. So you guys got to give me some feedback. Let's hope that this works. So if you snag it, you open it, it should open up that software. All right. Does everybody have something that looks like this? Yeah? All right. I'm going to see if I can bring this down there. Okay. So this is going to be kind of funky. I imagine that nobody's used this before, right? Totally weird and wacky and foreign? Okay. So we're going to get our nerd on. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay? We're going to start analyzing, taking a look at some brain data. All right? And this is the tool that we use to do it. It's going to seem a little weird and maybe overwhelming at first, but we're going to break it down into small little steps and take it in a very systematic way that I hope will build into a very good understanding. And we've been doing this now for about 4 years, and it's worked out great. People get it with a little bit of practice, and this will be fun. So the first thing I want to do is orient you to a couple things. All right? We're going to do something called set our path. It's generally the first thing you do when you open up Matlab. So that's a good thing to take a note on. Step number 1, open Matlab, is set your path. Yes, ma'am?
Mine's not opening up.
Okay.
It's saying,
Okay. That's really good to know, because it might not work, and we might just have to set up a different computer station for it. Yeah, I will just grab another one. We'll catch up. Today we're just in the race. Anybody else not having trouble? Yeah?
No, there's 2 different ones, and then there's a third one that you're kind of behind it. Like if you look, there's like 3 different ones on there.
Oh no, you don't want to deactivate. Just do the regular one.
Yeah.
Don't do activate and
But
deactivate.
I'm saying no, not
That's what she
Oh, maybe that's what she's doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you just want to make sure that you just grab the regular MATLAB, not activate or deactivate, right?
no, yeah, I actually do both.
Okay. Okay. We'll be patient and just, sometimes that happens. That'll be okay. So, nobody's getting graded on this, we're just kind of playing around. It's getting things going. So, we're going to hit this button, Set Path. What this does is it sets what's called a directory, which is a place. Okay, so here's kind of the thing. Oh, this is just, yeah, this is a lot, but, you know, we'll come back and visit it later, and we'll... How many of you guys have been a king, a queen, or a princess, or a prince before? Alex, you have? You have? Okay, a couple of y'all. I know Saul has been. Okay, so you're kind of like the king or the queen of your kingdom in this class. And your kingdom is your computer station. Okay? And this Matlab is your servant. How many of you guys have had servants before? Yeah, a couple of y'all? Okay. Okay, so the servant is really, really good. Okay? And they will get you whatever you want. You say, servant, bring me some grapes and a glass of wine. Or run off and go get it and they bring it back to you. Exactly how you want, right? They have the best servant around. They never disobey you. They always satisfy you. Okay? But the servant is kind of like Forrest Gump. How many of you guys have seen Forrest Gump? All right, well, has anybody not seen Forrest Gump? Yeah, we're going there. You haven't seen Forrest Gump? Okay, so you're just going to have to roll with this example. Just, okay? So it's a good movie. You should definitely check it out. You're going to find out. I kind of have like movie autism. I'm going to drop a lot of weird movie quotes and references to kind of like make things connected for you guys. Okay? So, how many of you guys remember the scene in Forrest Gump when he joins the army? Right? And the drill sergeant says, Private Gump, what is your sole purpose in life? And he says, what do you say? To do whatever you tell me to, drill sergeant. That's what Matlab's like. It will do whatever you tell it to do. Okay? So you get to be the king or the queen of your castle. Okay? And this is your servant, and it acts like Forrest Gump. It will do exactly what you tell it to. So if we want to tell it to do stuff like show us a picture of the results of the data, right? It will do it. But what if you say, servant, go bring me, I don't know, my shoes. Well, what if you have a big castle and it's a new servant? So you say, well, I'd be happy to get your shoes, sir, or madam, but where are they? Right? You got to tell them, go get my shoes from the closet upstairs in the second door on the right. This is what that's doing. You're setting your path. You're giving it the path. Okay, in the castle. Right? Yeah, it works?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so yeah, it gets there. You know, they kind of go a little sideways here and there, but they always come back to, home base. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set our path. We want to do this every time usually. We'll see. And you don't want to add folder. Instead, you want to add a folder including its subfolders. So you remember we started off by making our class folder and we nested that subfolder within it? That's why. Because we want to grab that one folder and have it grab everything beneath it. So if you hit that button, add with subfolders, and you navigate, we're going to navigate to, first you're going to hit desktop, right? Alrighty, desktop, and just grab that folder that we set up. We built this one, and then just hit select. Okay? Alright. Okay, so let's see how this works. Then hit save. Oh, it won't let us. So hit no, and then hit close, and then hit no again.
Yeah, I didn't do all that. It just went all over.
That's good. If it works to save it, then say yes. Yes. It's okay if it didn't work. Just hit me. I'll do it again. I'll show you guys again. Ready? Set. And we set that path. So mine was already set, so you can see it now. It tells us it's in our directory. We have Psych433. You're going to hit close, and it's going to ask you, do you want to save it? So this is kind of a quirky thing. Sometimes if you say yes, it'll save it. But other times, because of administrative rights and access on your computer, it won't allow you to save this new file, because it's like deeply embedded into Matlab system. Which is why I said to write your notes that says the first thing you do is this every time, because it won't automatically save that for us. So it's really easy. It'll take like 2 seconds. But hit close and then hit no and no. Is that working? Everybody good? Yeah? Okay. And actually, if you guys want, here's the external drive. If you have those files downloaded, you can just pass them over. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to go to the Blackboard to catch up. Oh, you're out. Ahead of the game. Alrighty. Let's see. So, then has everyone set their path successfully? You've told your servant exactly where to go. Alright. Now Forrest Gump is going to start running really fast because that's what he's really good at. Right? You tell him, go get this guy. And he runs up and grabs him and brings him back. Right? That's what Matlab is going to be really good at. So, we'll get into Matlab later in other classes and sort of the details, but because I just want to show you guys some stuff today, let's just cut to the chase. And this is our command window, and we're going to be able to write stuff of commands. This is where you give your commands to your servant. Okay, so instead of snapping your fingers or clapping for your little butler to come by, okay, you're just going to type in our commands. And like I said, it's going to be a little overwhelming today because it's a lot of stuff. But just roll with me. Type in these letters. E, E, G, Lab. And then press enter. You guys get a big blue screen that pop up? No.
Is it case sensitive?
It might be case sensitive. Didn't work? You guys set your path? What is it? Let's take a look and see what some of the messages say. Did you guys get error messages? I promised that it would come, right? Oh, you gotta press enter? No?
It's been disabled.
Okay. Did that not work? Let's take, Alex, can I see your mouse?
Yeah. I got that.
Let's do this. Oh, yeah, it's working.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. I had to capitalize.
It might just be taking some time. The capital shouldn't matter.
Well, the first time I did it.
If you have a little word that says busy in the bottom left-hand corner of your gray screen,
I
then
didn't
it's
get to do
thinking, which is good. That means it's working.
that. It's just slow.
I promise patience, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going? Cool, cool. Good to see you too. Oh yeah, I was too busy last Friday when you were so sorry. Yeah, you guys able to get a lot of the data that you're trying to collect? Or did you have people like skip out or not really? Oh, okay. Oh, dang. It's so cool. Cool. And you long time for sure. Good luck. Yeah, I'm just